Howdy folks, it's Not Jay from Not Jay Tabletop Gaming, and this video brings us back to the light. We're going to be taking a look at Captain Rex's crew for Fistful of Lead Galactic Heroes Star Wars Battle of Endor scenario. Now this crew is led by Captain Rex, the same Captain Rex that we saw in Star Wars Clone Wars and later in Star Wars Rebels. It was announced at a Star Wars celebration that the gray-bearded rebel trooper that you see hiding behind the bunker as the stormtroopers come around is actually the same Rex that was in Rebels and Clone Wars. So it's a retcon, but it's a retcon that I can get behind. I think it's a really great way to go. So let's take a look at his crew and what they can do. So climb on board, strap in, let's get going. Alright, here's Captain Rex, another fine model from Fantasy Flight Games Star Wars Legion. He was another quite fun one to paint. I decided to give his long trench coat the camouflage, so quite fun to paint. I really enjoyed it, painting him up. He's got that goatee going, mustache and goatee, so I decided to make him paint up like an older Captain Rex, as we saw in Rebels, and was quite fun to paint. I enjoyed him a lot. He's got the A280 rifle there, we're going to talk about in a second, and the binocs there. So let's go ahead and talk about what Captain Rex's stats are. His traits: he is a D10 shooting, D10 close combat. He's got leader, eagle-eyed, loads of ammo, nerves of steel, and the entire crew is taking loyal. Again, leader gives him that +1 to recover shaken or wounded rolls on any model within 12 inches. Eagle-eyed increases a weapon's short range by 2 and long range by 4 when carried by Rex. And loads of ammo gives him the ability to ignore first out of ammo roll. So that first one pops up, he just gets to ignore it and keep shooting. Then nerves of steel, he ignores the first shaken result. So he gets that first shaken result. It doesn't affect him at all. No negatives to any of his rolls or movement. And then loyal, as we know, will not leave the playing area while another member of the crew remains out there. That A280 auto rifle carries a short range of 12 inches, 24 inches is the long range, except in Rex's case, because of that eagle-eyed, it now becomes a 14-inch short range and a 28-inch long range. It does have burst fire, and burst fire does give the ability to use that 3-inch blast template and ignore the wound modifiers on the template. You will roll to hit any miniature that is at least half covered by the template. These shots are at a -1 to hit due to the inaccuracy of the spraying and area. However, putting out that much firepower does automatically make the shooter out of ammo. So that's where loads of ammo comes in handy for Rex. So he does also carry the combat knife. As we know, that combat knife wins ties versus opponents with no close combat weapons. Alright, our next model, Aeron. He is our specialist for this crew. He also has a camouflage jacket. This is more of a field jacket than it is a trench coat. And you'll also notice he's carrying a different style of weapon. We'll talk about his weapon here in just a second. But yet another fun model to paint. Really enjoyed the painting up that field jacket with the camouflage. I think it turned out really nicely. I think did a real good job with him. A lot of fun. So let's go ahead and take a look at Orion here. Orion has a D10 to shoot and a D10 for close combat. His traits are Deadeye and Deft, and of course has the Loyal Crew trait. Deadeye gives him a +1 to shoot, and Deft allows him to reload with only a single action. So that just, he shoots, and if he goes out of ammo, he only needs a single reload, single action to reload. Of course, he does have Loyal, and then his weapon is the MPL 57 grenade launcher. It has a short range of 10, a long range of 20, and the blast rules are used. So he takes that 3-inch template, puts it out where he wants to target. Any model underneath there has to, or will be rolled to hit on. So that's how the grenade launcher works. So pretty handy specialist there. All right, our next rebel, Aeron Windaru. He's just a regular troop out there, but this particular model has him carrying a charge. So I thought it was kind of neat to have somebody out there to have the explosives. You can see here the charge in his right hand. His left hand's carrying that the trigger mechanism. So he's also wearing the long trench coat that I gave the camouflage pattern to. Again, I think he turned out really, really nice. He's got a satchel to carry more of these charges. So definitely important when you're going to go blow up the shield generator. All right, let's go ahead and talk about Aeron Windaru. Funny enough, the guy that's carrying the explosive is also the medic. Remember, the medic can expend an action to roll with a 5+. He will heal 1 wound, but if he rolls less than a 1, he inflicts a wound. Again, he has to be in base-to-base contact with the model receiving the medical attention, but again, real handy to have the ability to take wounds off of your characters. So he also carries the A280 auto rifle and that combat knife. All right, our next rebel trooper is Kael Nata, just your regular troop. He's wearing a smock, and instead of the field jacket or instead of the overcoat, again with the camouflage pattern. A lot of fun to paint these guys. I really enjoyed it. Although they aren't as fun as Leia's crew to paint up, they were still fun. The big reason why Leia's crew was so fun to paint is because they were all the aliens. So, but yeah, a lot of fun with this guy. So let's go ahead and talk about Kael Nata. He too is a D10 shoot, D10 close combat. He carries the trait of Indomitable and the crew trait of Loyal. Indomitable allows him to remove all shock markers by spending 2 actions. So again, he can just hide behind a rock for a little while, hide behind a tree, breathe in a little, breathe out a little, get his center, calm himself down, and get rid of all that shock. Really, really handy in this game. He too carries the A280 auto rifle and that combat knife, and of course is Loyal. All right, Marlo Akhtar is our last rebel trooper for this crew, and he is just, again, a standard rebel trooper carrying the A280 and a combat knife. Just made him look as good as I could. I think he turned out really well. I like him a lot. He was a basic guy to paint. He painted up real fast, but I still think he looks damn good. So Marlo Akhtar, rebel trooper. He is observant. If you remember with those scout troopers, observant allows him to spot hidden enemies at 12 inches, and there's no penalty for shooting at creepy models. Of course, he does have Loyal as the crew trait with the A280 auto rifle and that combat knife. there you have it. Rex's crew was a lot of fun to paint. Enjoyed it quite a bit. Let's go ahead and take a look at some close-up photos of these models, and we'll see you on the flip side.